Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and utter pranam. I invite you for on behalf of His Grace Sri Ramanista Das Prabhuji to a early morning short Bhagavatam class. This is organized by Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. As usual, we shall begin with the prayers. Prayers are very important. I'm sure you will also have your own prayers along with me, keeping the mute button on. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो वैष्णवपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्।
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये।
शृणुतां स्वकथः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः।
शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः।
हृदयन्तः स्तूयभद्राणि विधुनोति सुरसताम्
हृद्यन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी
नित्यं भागवत सेवया. Daily attendance of the Srimad Bhagavatam classes, daily reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, trying to understand and explain, all of them certainly lead to removal of all the inauspicious thing existing in our life. And worshipping the Lord Krishna, the Uttama Sloka, helps us attain the Naistiki Bhakti, which is the goal of you, me, all of us. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Prescribed Duties for Mankind, Chapter 12, Vrutrasura's Glorious Death. We actually went through 3 other chapters, and the bunch of these 4 chapters makes the story of Vrutrasura. Chapter number 9 was appearance of the demon Vrutrasura. Chapter number 10 was the battle between the demigods and Vrutrasura, whom he very positively defeats. And that's how King of the heaven, King of the demigods, Indra, enters into the scene. And the chapter 11 was the transcendental qualities of Vrutrasura. Vrutrasura being the very exalted devotee of the Lord, his transcendental glories and qualities are described in detail, including the last prayers of Vrutrasura to the Lord. And lastly, the chapter that we are now going through is Vrutrasura's glorious death. So that's how this story begins and ends. It ultimately ends into the death of Vrutrasura, which actually is his wish, so that he could go back to the eternal service of the Lord, back to Godhead after leaving his body. Those who want to recite this verse can raise their hands. Lokaha sapala yasye me swasanti viva shavashe dvija iva shicha baddha sakala iha karanam. Venkata Narsiya Das Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you are muted.
Loka safala yasme swasanti vivasavase dvijaiva sipsa baddha sakala iha karanam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Madhumai Krishnan Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Lokaha Sapala me Shwasanti Vivashavashe Dvijayivashicha Baddhaha Sakala Iha Karanam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Pran Nandini Madhvi Devi Dasiji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय लोका स्वपाल संजम्ये स्वसन्ति विवसावसे द्विजाइव सिचा सकाल इह कारणम हरे कृष्ण प्रभु थैंक यू
Madhu Soni Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय लोका सपाला यश्येम स्वसन्ति विवशावसे द्विजा इव शिचा बद्धा सकालैः कारणम। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you. Uttama Padma Devi Dasiji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय लोका सपाला यस्मे सुशन्ति विवशावशे द्विजायिवासि च बद्धाः सकाला इह कारणम् हरे कृष्ण
Thank
प्रभु
you,
जी
Mataji. Subharao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय लोका सपालायस्येमे स्वसन्ति विवसावसे द्विजा इव सिदा च बद्धाः सकाल इह कारणम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you. Leena Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम लोकाः सपाला यस्य मे शशन्ति वशावशे द्विजा एव शिचा बद्धा सकाल इह कारणम थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Thank you. Revati Ratnangi Devi Dasiji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय लोकः सफला यस्य मे स्वस्वन्ति विवशावसे द्विजा इव शिशबद्धाः सकाल इह कारणम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Thank you very much. Subharao Prabhuji, would you like to read synonyms for us?
यस प्रभु जी, श्योर प्रभु जी,
Thank
थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
you.
Synonyms: Lokaha, the worlds; Sapalaha, with their chief deities or controllers; Yasya, of whom; Ime, all these; Shvasanti, live; Visvashaha, fully dependent; Vashe, under the control; Dvijaha, birds; Iva, like; Shicha, by the net; Baddhaha, bound; Saha, that; Kalaha, time factor; Iha, in this; Karanam, the cause. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you very much, Subharao Prabhuji, for nicely reading the synonyms. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All living beings in all the planets of this universe, including the presiding deities of all the planets, are fully under the control of the Lord. They work like birds caught in a net who cannot move independently. So in this translation, the analogy given is that of birds who are caught in the net. They are never independent and their legs are tied up with the net so they can have restricted movements in particular directions. The jiva or soul's conditioned state is described in this analogy. Purport. The difference between the suras and the asuras is that the suras know that nothing can happen without the desire of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, whereas the asuras cannot understand the supreme will of the Lord. In this fight, Rudrasura is actually the Sura, whereas Indra is Asura. No one can act independently. Rather, everyone acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Therefore, victory and defeat come according to the results of one's karma, and the judgment is given by the Supreme Lord. Karmana Daiva Netrena. Since we act under the control of the Supreme according to our karma, no one is independent from the Brahma down to the insignificant ant, whether we are defeated or victorious. The Supreme Lord is always victorious because everyone acts under his direction. The description in the earlier part of the purport of Srila Prabhupada vividly describes the difference between the suras and asuras, and to some extent, all of you must be surprised that Rudrasura is said to be Sura and Indra is said to be Asura. At least we know one thing very surely by now with Srila Prabhupada's continuous teaching for so many years, that the Suras and Asuras, or for that matter, any Varna and any Ashrama, are not decided as per the birth of a person, but is decided as per the qualities that one possesses. It's the inherent quality inside a person who has developed them either in this birth or last birth that dictates what he actually is. Many examples are given previously that a person may have been born in religions other than our religion. Maybe in a Muslim religion, maybe even born as Chandala, a person who eats dogs and cats. But still, because he is very learned, he has learned the Vedas, he has been following the Vedas in his lifestyle, and he is otherwise a pure Brahmana, he is said to be Brahmana or Vaishnava. There are many examples in Shastras beginning with Shata Goswamis, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, and so on, who had even their name in the Muslim religion, or who were Chandalas, who ultimately became the leader of our sect, Madhavacharya sect. That is the knowledge that they possess. Those are the qualities that they had. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 10 continuous days and nights to explain the details of devotion to them. So it's not the birth, it's the qualities that one possesses. And if you look at here, what are the qualities of Rudrasur? Rudrasur knows the Lord. He is otherwise an exalted devotee of the Lord. Because of his previous birth, he certainly is Sura. But even in this birth, his wishes are to leave his body for the purpose of going back to Godhead so that he could spend his life or lifetime or whatever eternal time he has into the loving devotional service of the Lord. This certainly makes one a devotee, and devotees are never asuras, they are suras. Contrary to this straightforward thinking that has been repeatedly explained even by himself, explaining to Indra to kill him so that he can go back to Godhead. What are the Indra's wishes? Indra's wishes are probably very similar to we all possess the same materialistic wish and working in the mode of passion, trying to gather and get as much as we can grab in this material world. He wants to persistently hold on to his kingdom, to his heavenly kingship, and remain the god of the demigods. So his wishes are all material wishes. He has not a tinge of anything to do with the spiritual realm at all. It's only asuras who have the material concept of life, bodily concept of life, thinks the world as a truth, is not an illusion, and thinks that spending life here and doing everything in this material world is the true things. That makes one asura. And that's why here it has been explained by Srila Prabhupada in very plain, straightforward sentence who the asura is here. And without hesitation, he says it is King Indra. And who the sura is here, that's Rudrasur. Srila Prabhupada further goes into the question of defeat and the victory. It's very difficult to predict in the material world who would be victorious and who would have defeat. The material parameters jump up and down so quickly that something which is obviously a defeat can get converted into a majestic victory. It's because the peripherals of Bautic world, peripherals of the physical world is so variable. and so also the forces that work on the victory and defeat. However, beyond these forces and parameters, there are certain other things like the will of the Lord, plan of the Lord, and Lord's decision. So here we are talking about three-tier things which works on the victory and defeat. One is Jiva's own karma, his previous karma or past karmas that determines and decides his destiny, and victory and defeat are the outcome of the destiny anyway. The second thing is that it's the parameters and the forces that act on the physical world that decides the victory and the defeat. And the third parameter that goes in, the third force that goes in, is the Lord's will, Lord's plan, and Lord's decision. Srila Prabhupada explains up till now in several of the purports that victory and defeat are the outcome of the Lord's decision. And the living entity must accept whatever he has been presented with. He should neither claim the victory nor disown the defeat. This is because, as Lord Sri Krishna explains in detail in the Bhagavad Gita, that your duty is doing your job, doing your prescribed duty. So your matter or possession or your skills end the moment you complete your duties, your prescribed duties. You are not entitled to claim the results of the work that you have done. In other words, we should not look forward to the fruits of the work that we have done. When that kind of a thing is done, which in plain words is known as Nishkam Karma, that karma becomes a neutral karma. It does not incite the reaction. Something that does not incite the reaction, that keeps us in a neutral ground, certainly helps us proceed towards the liberation or freedom from birth, death, jara, and vyadi. Because all these four things and the conditions stayed in bonus comes to us and gets stuck to us because we are not in a neutral ground. We either have overspent the credits or have underspent the credits. We either are migrating to the superior planets and getting better benefits, or we are migrating down to the inferior Patal planets, and towards there, it's like hell. So the idea of heaven and the hell comes in from there. But mind you, going to heaven or hell is not permanent. The game is still on, and you keep playing the game until you score your credits, better or worse, to switch over from hell to heaven or heaven to hell. In other words, the soul undergoes continuous miseries, continuous indecisiveness, continuous dependence, continuous conditioning, and this Dukhalaya cannot give something that the soul desires or soul is used to when it used to be with the Lord, Sat, Chit, and Anand. Can't give the eternity because the life ends, new body comes in, new birth takes place, and you start living all over again. Similarly, your cognizance disappears, you are forgetful, your memories are limited, you can't remember even your own thing in this life. Forget about the previous lives, the millions of lives that you have lived, and miserably you are repeating the same life again and again. And of course, when there is no eternity, when there is no cognizance, how can there be a bliss? So the original position of the soul never is existing, and thus we all living entities remain in the miserable situation. The third variable that comes in here is the independence. And next three verses are without purport, and they all talk about independence. We all know that Lord is totally independent. And the word that we use in Sanskrit is Swarat. Swarat means that person or that soul is totally independent, has no dependence on anything, anywhere. We all know that all of the living entities who are conditioned souls are dependent on some or the other things. We also know that everybody in this world has a boss above him. I'm sure you would agree, even when we are discussing, we always talk like that. There is always a someone who is boss above everyone else. There is no situation where where any living entity has nobody above him, and he is not dependent on someone. This independence is described here as being caught, the birds being caught in the net. When they are caught in the net, they cannot fly at their will from one to other place. They are tied down there. And all that they can do is probably flip-flap the wings and attempting to fly, but never succeeding. What I suggest we do is go through next three verses and their translation. Verse number 9 and 10, next two. They both describe the dependence in peculiar way, which is nice way of describing. I would suggest one or two people can always recite the verse, and then we go ahead. Please raise your hand who wants to recite. Don't make more than 2, 3. Revati Ratnagi Mataji, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji. Ojaha sahobalam pranamamrutam mrityumeva cha tam jnanayah jano hetumatmanam manyate jadam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Thank you. Madhu Soni Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओजः सहो बलम प्राणममृतम मृत्युमेव च तमज्ञाय जनो हेतुमात्मानं मन्यते जडम्. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Pranandini Madhvi Devi Dasiji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। उजः सह बलं प्रणम अमृतं मृत्युमेव च तमज्ञाय जनो हेतुम् आत्मनं मन्यते जडम्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू प्रभु।
Thank you Mataji. Madhumai Krishnan Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओजः सहो बलं प्राणं अमृतं मृत्युमेव च तमज्ञाय जनो हेतुम् आत्मानं मन्यते जडम्। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
Thank you. Subbarao Prabhuji.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओजस्सहो बलं प्राणम् अमृतं मृत्युमेव च तमज्ञाय जनो हेतुः आत्मानं मन्यते जडम्.
Thank you Prabhuji. Venkat Narasimha Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. ओझासवो बलं प्राणं अमृतं मृत्युमेव च तमज्ञाय जनो हेतुमात्मानं मन्यते जडम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Thank you. Pranandini Devi Dasiji. Can you read the synonyms for us?
Yes प्रभु जी। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। Synonyms: Ojaha, the strength of the senses; Saha, the strength of the mind; Balam, the strength of the body; Pranam, the living condition; Amartam, immortality; Mrutyum, death; Eva, indeed; Cha, also; Tam, him, the supreme Lord; Ajnaya, Ajna, without knowing; Jnana, a foolish; Janaha, a foolish person; Hetum, the cause; Atmanam, the body; Manyate, considers; Jadam, although as good as a stone. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you Pranandini Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Our sensory prowess, mental power, bodily strength, living force, immortality and mortality are all subject to the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Not knowing this, foolish people think the dull material body to be the cause of their activities. In short, whatever you consider as a strength or powers in our material life are all vividly described here, and then say that all of these powers, so-called powers, or so-called something that we all take pride of, are subject to the supervision or superintendence of the Lord. So they are already under the control, guidance, and under their power. We are not independent, and none of the powers and forces bestowed upon us are independently with us so that we can use the way we like. And that's why Srila Prabhupada uses the last sentence, his typical fools and rascals. Not knowing this, the foolish people think that they are going to live in this world for 10,000 years. Because many a times, if you see the way they make their big bungalows and possess so many cars and possess so many material things, one feels that he probably thinks he is never going to die. So there is a disproportionate power struggle in the minds of every material person or every living being on earth who is conditioned about his true strength true possessions of power or true being never recognized, and all the illusions that are existing around him, including his material body, the world, he considers them a reality. We'll go through the last verse as well, 10th one. One or two persons can recite this verse. Okay, Venkata Narasimha Rao Prabhuji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yadha darumayi nari, yadha patramayo mrugha, evam bhutani mrugavannisha, tantrani vidhivo. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Subbarao Prabhuji, please go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु धन्यवाद प्रणाम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यथा दारुमयी नारी यथा पत्रमयोः मृगः एवं भूतानि मघवन्नि शतन्त्राणि विद्धि भोः.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Madhuswani Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. यथा दारुमयी नारी यथा पत्रमयो मृगा एवं भूतानि मघवन्नि शतन्त्राणि विधिभो. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Madhumai Mataji. Please go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. यथा दारुमयी नारी यथा पत्रमयो मृगः एवं भूतानि भगवन् ईशतन्त्राणि विद्धि भोः. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. हरे
Thank you, Mataji. Pranandini Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यथा दारुमयी नारी यथा पत्रमयो मृगः एवं भूतानि मघवन् ईशतन्त्राणि विधिवो. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. थैंक यू प्रभु.
Thank you. Vijaya Kumari Mataji. Go ahead, please.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. धन्वंत प्रभु जी. यदा तारुमयी नारी यदा यन्त्रमयो मृग एवं भूतानि महवन् श्रीसन्त्राणि वित्तिभो. थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
Thank you, Mataji. Uttama Padma Devi Dasiji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यथा दारुमयी नारी यथा पत्रमयो मृगः एवं भूतानि मघवन् ईशतन्त्राणि विद्धि भो. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Uttama Padma Mataji. Can you read synonyms for us?
Yes प्रभु जी. sure. Yatha, synonyms. Yatha, just as. Dharumayi, made of wood. Nari, a woman. Yatha, just as. Patramaya, made of leaves. Mriga, an animal. Evam, thus. Bhutani, all things. Magavan, O King Indra. Isha, the supreme personality of Godhead. Tantrani, depending upon. Vidhi, please know. Bho, O sir. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Uttama Padma Devi Dasiji. Thank you very much. Translation. O King Indra has a wooden doll that looks like a woman or as an animal made of grass and leaves cannot move or dance independently, but depends fully on the person who handles it. All of us dance according to the desire of the Supreme Controller, the personality of the Godhead. No one is independent. This is the last thing where they describe about independence. The small purport will go through it. Basically, it explains that we are like what we call in India Kataputli. So it's like a doll made up of material which is not a living material. And then we are actually made to dance the way our master likes. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrut. Subbarao Prabhuji, could you
Yes,
elaborate
Prabhuji,
on
sure.
it?
Ekaleishwara Krishna Arasava Bhrutya Yare Eche Nachaya Setaiche Kare Nritya.
Thank you, Prabhuji, and help me in the next one. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller, and all others are his servants. They dance as he makes them to do so. We are all servants of Krishna. We have no independence. We are dancing according to the desire of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. But out of ignorance and illusion, we think we are independent of the Supreme Will. Therefore, it is said, go ahead.
Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam.
Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is prime cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. This in short describes what independence is, how Lord is totally independent and we are not. We are totally dependent on the Lord. We are at the will of the Lord, and He can do whatever He wishes to do with us. And His judgment and decisions are final. When such situation exists, a wise man would certainly surrender to that power who has that much of power on us rather than trying to struggle against it and go against, become a rebellion and continue to be a rebellion. Because the result of being rebellion is to remain in this beautifully looking gel for rest of several millions of life. Our independence only will come if we go back to the Lord. Any question, any doubt, any queries, any addition, anything that you want to add on it, please go ahead. If there
Hare
is,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Madhuswani Mataji.
First time Prabhuji, Prabhupada and Shukdev Goswami has given the clear verdict, Prabhuji. Most of the time we used to think why Indra has been so much supported. So here they have written like Indra is in Asura's quality and Vrittasura is in Sura's quality, Prabhuji. So it's like very clearly they have been differentiated like how exactly like we can't consider if somebody is in a like good position, good varnashram, so we can't consider he's always good. So like we are very much satisfied here, Prabhuji. Always we had been this question, so they have given their verdicts, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, and very nice explanation you have done, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Madhuswani Mataji. Of course, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. But these certainly gives us one great solace also, that we have been as Asura, as Indra, and probably we have lived the same life. Srila Prabhupada tells us the reasons why we should leave this and concentrate on Krishna consciousness more and get detachment more quickly to have Sura's life, what Vrutrasur is describing. So it's in fact, if you look at it, the story of Indra and Vrutrasur is a story of you, me, and all of us. We have been living Indra's life, and we are asuras, though we claim that we are the best people in the society, or we are these, or we are that. I am a doctor, or a chartered accountant, or a lawyer, or whatever you call it, and claim that you are the one of the very advanced person. But we are asuras, and we got to get ourselves into, though they are that ugly looking Rudrasur, he is Sura, and he wants to go back. So we must attempt to go back, and I'm sure if Rudrasur succeeds, we must succeed. Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful revelation. It encourages us a lot. Thank you, Madhuswani Mataji. If there are no further questions, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you very much for attending the class. I'm sorry I exceeded a bit by 5-6 minutes. All of you have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare